My name is Todd Higgins. I'm the director of Gallaudet University Regional Center East, located at Northern Essex Community College in Haverhill, Massachusetts. We run the Family Sign Language program that serves the entire state of Massachusetts, and we have since 2010. Hi, my name's Amy Stevens, and I'm the coordinator of the Massachusetts Family Sign Language program. Hi, my name is Adriana Nefis. I'm the administrative assistant for both the Gallaudet University Regional Center East and the Massachusetts Family Sign Language program. As we celebrate 10 years of service, we want to briefly introduce you to the Family Sign Language program, as some of you may not be familiar, and explain why it's so important and how families with deaf and hard of hearing children across the state can become eligible for the program. We'll also share some milestones of our program over the last 10 years. The state of Massachusetts is lucky to have such a program that was established over 30 years ago. We feel fortunate to have the opportunity to run it over the last 10 years. The program has a long history here in Massachusetts of providing the crucial services that our families need. This video will do a quick recap of what's been happening over the last 10 years since we've been running the program. We hope that you enjoy. The Massachusetts Family Sign Language program is organized and run by the Gallaudet University Regional Center at Northern Essex Community College and is funded by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health via a contract awarded in 2010. The goal of the program is to introduce family members to American Sign Language, enabling them to communicate with the child at the earliest age possible, and is intended to teach the adult guardians. What does an FSLP class look like? The program is open to families who live in Massachusetts, have a child who's deaf or hard of hearing aged 0 to 3, and are currently receiving services through Early Intervention Program. FSLP timeline, 10 years. Highlights from these 10 years. July 2010 to June 2011, GURC East is selected by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health to coordinate the program. Glennis Crane Emerson is hired as the first FSLP coordinator. 94 families are referred, and 19 tutors who are deaf and hard of hearing are recruited. July 2011 to June 2012, 68 families are referred, 29 tutors who are deaf and hard of hearing are recruited. We were able to present at the National Early Hearing Detection and Intervention Conference in St. Louis, Missouri. July 2012 to June 2013, 58 families were referred, 11 tutors who are deaf and hard of hearing were recruited. We presented at the Early Hearing Detection and Intervention Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, the National Outreach Conference in Tucson, Arizona, and at the GPS Guide to Providing Services Conference at the Learning Center for the Deaf in Framingham, Massachusetts. July 2013 to June 2014, 73 families were referred, 7 tutors who were deaf and hard of hearing were recruited, and FSLP was chosen to be highlighted on the Laurent Clair Center's upcoming new website, Early Intervention Network, a resource for professionals serving young children who are deaf and hard of hearing. July 2014 to June 2015, 66 families were referred, 13 tutors who were deaf and hard of hearing were recruited, We were able to present a workshop called Effective Family-Centered Sign Language Instruction in the Home, Strategies for Success, presented at the Massachusetts Early Intervention Consortium, and we were on a panel presentation at the GPS Guide to Providing Services workshop hosted by the Learning Center for the Deaf in Framingham, Massachusetts. July 2015 to June 2016, 71 families were referred, 9 tutors who were deaf and hard of hearing were recruited. FSLP provided a poster session during the Coalition for Global Hearing Health Conference at Gallaudet University, Washington, D.C. This was an international conference with a focus on early intervention services. And FSLP is featured on the Laurent Clerc Center's new website, Early Intervention Network, as the highlighted program for Factor 3, entitled Early Exposure of Accessible Language Through Sign is Beneficial to Language Acquisition. July 2016 to June 2017, 57 families were referred, 3 tutors who are deaf and hard of hearing were recruited. We presented as a panel presentation at the Early Hearing Detection Identification Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and a new family welcome packet was updated and then translated into Spanish. July 2017 to June 2018, 44 families were referred, 11 tutors who are deaf and hard of hearing were recruited. Amy Stevens was hired as the new FSLP coordinator. New FSLP logo and tagline were developed, as well as a new FSLP brochure, and we developed online resources for families and tutors. July 2018 to June 2019, 56 families were referred, 6 tutors who were deaf or hard of hearing were recruited, and the FSLP presented on the importance of involving deaf and hard of hearing adults in the EI system at the GPS Guide to Providing Services workshop at the Learning Center for the Deaf in Framingham, Massachusetts. July 2019 to June 2020, 46 families were referred, 6 tutors who are deaf and hard of hearing were recruited. New FSLP curriculum was developed and disseminated to tutors and families. Some of our materials were able to be translated into Arabic and Portuguese. COVID-19 hit, which meant a transition to remote classes. The FSLP at GURC East celebrates 10 years of service. 10 years of FSLP statistics. Number of families referred to FSLP, 633. Number of family members that joined classes, 3,731. What towns have we served? Number of tutors who've worked for FSLP, 114. What are families saying? Honestly, when we found out that she was deaf, I was scared, but I don't feel scared anymore. This was a wonderful experience, and we're so glad the class was offered. Our whole family learned a lot, and we were glad to be able to gain a greater understanding of deaf culture through the process. ASL is a second language of sorts for our daughter, as she can understand and speak English, but we want to be able to expose her to the deaf culture and language to open more doors for her. I would tell other parents, if you don't know, ask. Tell your teacher to slow down, learn about deaf culture, but do not be overly concerned with doing something offensive, like speaking out loud. The more you learn, both ASL and deaf culture, the easier it gets. And one family noted, the best part was the full immersive experience for the whole family. A special thank you to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, early intervention providers here in Massachusetts, the Massachusetts deaf community, our FSLP tutors, and our FSLP families. A very special thank you to our former staff members, Sherry Carroll, Kathleen Vesey, and Glennis Crane Emerson. This video is made in memory of Glennis Crane Emerson, whom we lost in 2019.